Okay. All right. Everyone, you guys know who I am. This is Dr. Ray, and I wanted to send just a brief message just to make sure we're on the right page. Now, I know Miss Cynthia sent in a document. I'm going to share that document now on my screen for the HEI curriculum. And okay, where do I have it? It's not shared yet. Let me pull it up. Where is that? Should have been a PDF, right? Okay, so it should be. All right, let me just open it back up. And correct. Okay, there we go. All right, so let me just share this document with everyone. Share and curriculum. All right. Now, we're not writing a curriculum. We're writing the scope and sequence. Now, in the scope, and in many ways, we are writing the curriculum, but we're in the middle of the school year. And what I need is a scope and sequence. A scope and sequence is figuring out where you currently are with your students. Only you know your students' wants, needs, and expectations. I don't know who wrote this curriculum. I'm pretty sure somebody in Finland wrote it, or we may have paid a consultant to write it. However, those people are not in the classroom with you. They don't know Sarah. They don't know Muhammad. They don't know Talal. They don't know Caitlin. Okay, they don't know these young people in your class. You do. So when we get a curriculum, you always have to scope and sequence that curriculum. You should do it from the beginning of the year. And the scope and sequence is a living document, right? It's active. The curriculum is a living document. And it lives because of the scope and sequence. So because the curriculum is very idle, right? It's the scope and sequence that makes it alive. All right, because as you engage the curriculum, as you run that pathway towards the destination, towards the finish line, you determine whether you need to slow down, speed up, maybe we need to take a water break, maybe we need to get new shoes, maybe we need to see the nurse. All these things happen along the journey of reaching the finish line. So as these things happen, as life happens, we have to scope and sequence. We have to adjust. We have to figure out, recalculate, recalibrate to ensure we get to the finish line in the appropriate amount of time. Sometimes that means deleting things. Sometimes that means adding things. Sometimes that means putting a stronger emphasis on something. Slowing down, speeding up, okay? Only we as the teachers in the classroom know that. The textbook doesn't know that. The curriculum as a document itself does not know that. So what we're doing is we're scope and sequencing. We're determining where we are at the moment. We're also determining what the finish line is. What is the finish line? How should our students look by the end of the academic year for third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, kindergarten, first grade, second grade? How should the student look by the end of the academic year? So you could take documents like this. And again, thank you, Cynthia, for uploading this document. Take documents like this, figure out and establish what the end of the students look like by the end of this school year. What are they going to look like? What skills are they going to have? What terminal outcomes are students going to be able to realize? The Finns call them transversal competencies, right? All that is, what overall skills are the students going to be able to or going to have in their closet, in their long-term memory. Come on, what's going on? What is going on? Don't act a fool. Okay. So if we look at this document, this is third grade right here. If we look at this document, it includes the transversal competencies. All right. HEI Schools Almaga has no local emphasis in terms of transversal competencies. Rather, the attainment of the competencies is integrated in all the teaching and learning from the planning stages and evaluated as a part of the regular formative assessment practices. In particular, collaboration across subjects and between staff creates opportunities for transversal competencies to be developed. And so basically all these transversal, they're saying the same things that I'm saying, just using different language. Right? So all these transversal competencies, you see them here. Now look at how the objectives are written. They're not written smartly because these are really outcomes. They call them objectives, but they're outcomes. They're expected outcomes. 01, to guide students to strengthen their skills in conducting themselves constructively in different communication situations and to express their opinions. This is the finish line, right? These are not objectives, they're actually outcomes. 02, to guide students to notice the impacts of their linguistic and communication related choices and to take other people's needs into consideration in group communication situations. Again, that is not an objective, that is an outcome. This is what I'm talking about as it relates to what the student looks like. So it's written in this document. 03, to guide students in their creativity and expressing themselves in a versatile manner in different communication and presentation situations, also by means of drama. 04, to encourage students to develop a positive self-image as a communicator and to foster their willingness and ability to act in different interactive situations, also in multimedia environments. Again, that is not an objective, that is an outcome. These are what we want the student to look like, the skills we want to have them acquire. Now, the objectives are the interactions between teachers and students or students and students, depending on the interactions, that help us get to these outcomes. So you need to do a couple things. You need to consider where your students are right now as you write this scope and sequence. And you need to consider the expected outcomes or the transversal competencies that are listed in this document. Also, you need to look at the objectives and scope and sequence that's listed in the textbook. And you guys need to create a document yourself, a scope and sequence yourself that is cross-curricular in nature. What do I mean cross-curricular? What do I mean by cross-curricular in nature? Meaning it should be math. It should include math, English, social study, the sciences, the sciences, Arabic, French, art, music, all the subjects that they're taking, including all those transversal competencies that really don't deal with subject more than deal with the human, the holistic, the whole person. So that's what we need to do. We need to take this document, the HEI document. We also need to take the textbook scope and sequence, and we need to build a scope and sequence that is that will help us guide us towards the outcomes, and that's what we're asking for. Okay, so hopefully you guys understand that. If you have any questions, please. All right, I know there's documents out there, but I need you guys to create your own original document. Okay, it's getting a little noisy here, so I'm gonna stop here. Thank you.